let's start for real. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we are taking a look at the last of the Challenger decks. And it's kind of, there's a little bit of an interesting story here. This was the one I started doing in internal testing, and it was the one I was most excited for. But the more I played it, the more I kind of started getting down on it. I wasn't feeling it as much anymore compared to the others. And it's kind of like maybe it's a consequence of time, but it looks like a lot of the meta has pretty much started shrugging things off here. So we're taking a look at the Azorius Challenger deck here right now. So let's get the win cons out of the way first. 2 Dream Trawlers, 2 Archon of Sun's Grace, a Shark Typhoon, and the Emerius Call. It's one of our lands. Kind of counts as a win con, but this is not so reliable. So we have very few, so we don't have that many win cons. We do have a few ways of getting them back with Elspeth Conquers Death, so this, and it's also good removal. And as far as protecting ourselves, the reactive one, no, kind of hard to say, because we have many classes of these cards. First we have the single negate, the neutralize, and the saw it coming. Let's start sorting these out first. So we have the negate, the neutralize, and the saw it coming. That's our kind of reactive counter spell. Reactive interaction. We have Glass Casket and Banishing Light, 2 of each as a way of as ways of taking care of threats on the board. Same with Shatter the Sky and Doomscar. So I'm gonna just move these here. Then we have a lot of card draw. Omen and Sea Thirst for Meaning, Behold the Multiverse. So we do have a light foretell package. I probably want to expand on this, but we're gonna go with this deck as if it were straight out of the box. If you were to buy it, I've heard that you might be able to get them early April. They might be available in stores by then, so at least we get a chance to try them out before you buy them. Then otherwise, Birth of Meletis is a way to secure our land drops, which is very important considering you're not gonna win unless you hit your 6s. Well, you might, and even then you need extra support for the Archons. And against some matchups, this can be really horrible. But otherwise, we do have a good land suite. So we have 24 natural lands. We're actually running 27 if you count this, and we actually have a good amount of white and blue, though. And it looks like it's even on paper, but over time I feel like the 8 and 8 split is kind of hurting us. Again, it's a case of where you want to have some extra duels, but I have a different thought on this one. I'm between the Pathways and Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage might actually be better for this deck because the more cards you draw, the more relevant deck tinning becomes. Like if you're just if you're drawing the same number of cards and you're just tinning the deck out with just the 4 Fabled Passage and that's it, the percentage of relevance is not that great. But when you're able to get lands off with Birth of Meletis, when you're able to draw 1 card, 2 cards, 3 cards, tons of scry here, some also scry here, between that scry value, you get more value out of the Fabled Passage. Although the scry might be a little bit awkward when you end up reshuffling the lands back in, but sometimes you might have to scry for different reasons. Like perhaps it's an early game where you're digging for land, so you're forced to scry other stuff in the bottom. Having a reshuffle is actually good there. Let's do a quick check on the sideboard. Okay, let's actually move this here. So sideboard, more Glass Caskets, more Banishing Lights. We have Essence Scatter as additional counter spells. Skyclave Apparition, additional removal. More counter spells in Mystical Dispute, additional Archon of Sun's Grace. Confounding Conundrum, this is supposed to be a foil for the ramp decks, but this one might have been one meta too late. The days of not most of the ramp decks nowadays, they're not really ramping off. They still use Cultivate. But they're not extremely ramping off nowadays. Nowadays the trick they would do is they would their ramp of choice is actually now Wolf Willow Haven, and yeah, it's pretty much Wolf Willow Haven is the ramp of choice now. We don't see much in the way of we don't see much in the way of migration paths or the other spells because they kind of cost a lot more expensive. It's a good foil against Fabled Passage, but even then you can time it properly. Like you play the land and then you just activate the Fabled Passage during the opponent's turn. It's basically don't play and activate on the same turn. So there's a way out of it. So, but I'm actually glad that we're able to have this here, because that's 3 rares I can cut and just fix our land mana base with. Anyway, enough talk. Let's give this deck a go. So again, we're gonna try to get at least 4 matches with this one, with the deck Au Natural. And unless we get unless we run into horrible mana issues all throughout, we are going to. This is going to be a relatively lengthy video. At the very least, I'd like to get 2 match wins just to get my money, get my gold back at the very least. So yeah, we could go on the draw, but this is a Giganta deck. We need to be on the play here. This might be one of the few good times where having neutralized and being able to draw a card as an emergency is fine. So I'm gonna play this one out. Having the double Thirst for Meaning also helps us. This might be. I'm trying to think of what possible deck this could be though. Let's see. This might be a Croxa. No, it's okay. It's a Croxa style deck. I'm gonna still hold on to. There's an argument for. Yeah, we definitely want to have some anti-creature stuff, because our Shattered Disguise are not going to get past the Immerstrom Predator. There's a Banishing Light that helps us, but we're not gonna fire it off quite yet. Also, it looks like our opponent might. No, they have a land drop. There's no way that's an issue. At least they don't have the turn 3 Timorate. Timorate Calls the Dead. They do have a Croxa though, so I'm gonna fire off the Thirst for Meaning. So discard an enchantment. Yeah, we'll discard the Omen, because our opponent's gonna make us discard another card. And I'm probably gonna just discard the Skyclave Cleric. Well, we got ourselves another Skyclave Cleric. We're not exactly going to be countering anything, so I'm actually gonna just play the Skyclave Cleric as is. Gain our life back, have something to block the Mire Triton with, and we kind of want our opponent to start filling up the yard. We want. Though our opponent does have protection for the Croxa in the form of Village Rites, we also really need to hit yeah, the 8 and 8 is going to be a problem. Actually, I have a different idea for solving this. I'm actually going to block this. Opponent does have green, so this actually might be a Corvold style deck. But I want to just cycle the Neutralize now, since I don't necessarily have a way to counter anything. Let's hold. Well, there's a Saw It coming. So we're gonna see if we can take some control. Yeah, we're just gonna take some initial damage. I'm actually grateful that we're not on the ropes quite yet. Opponent takes Immerstrom Predator, so yeah, we're gonna see that we're gonna see that coming. Definitely, that's one card we do not want to have land. Okay, we hit our Tranquil Cove. So we got our green. So we got our blue source. It's a bit too late for Neutralize though. So I might end up just casting Thirst for Meaning. Opponent Village Rites the token. Sure, that's fine. So we take the hit. We go Thirst for Meaning. I'm pretty sure our opponent just goes for Croxa now. They will have one extra mana up, so that's an issue, but okay, they did leave one Immerstrom Predator behind, so I'm gonna go Thirst for Meaning. Let's see. Unfortunately, I need that Banishing Light. I can actually just discard the Archon and the... No, I want to keep the Archon. Let's let her know what we're thinking. Yeah, I already passed that one. I don't want to discard the 2 neutralizes though. Yeah, let's just discard the Archon and 1 neutralize because I have no guarantee that I'm going to hit another land. Which does unfortunately mean I will discard the Shatter. It's a feel bad. It a little bit too late. I guess I can use the... Okay, we got Birth of Meletis to buy us some time. It also fills up our hands, which is semi-relevant. So I'm gonna play this. Our opponent probably has a Village Rites anyway, but it does slow them down quite a bit. I can even just counter the Village Rites out. Oh no, you can just sacrifice it that way. What was I thinking? I'm trying to think if there is a... Yeah, there's Timur Calls the Dead. I kind of want to counter that. Yeah, we'll hold up the negate, though I would much rather this be Essence Scatter at this point. The deck is mostly creature heavy. They do have some non-creatures, but they're not completely reliant on it. Ghost Rider again. Okay. So just do it like that. We're gonna take quite a bit of damage. We might not survive this. I'm probably might have... Yeah, maybe discarding the negate keeping the negate was a mistake. The likelihood of our opponent... Okay, they're gonna hold, so we're gonna use this time to draw cards. Tranquil Cove saves us some life. Birth of Meletis. That's a bit awkward, but okay. Glass Casket. Well, Emeria's Call also helps. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just cast this outright. The problem is it gives our opponent runs Claim the Firstborn. It makes it live, so I'm not too sure I even want to cast it. I'm so tempted to just run the Glass Casket. Yeah, let's just run the Glass Casket out. Force our opponent to sack 1 Woe Strider. Which is still kind of fine. So I'm actually kind of waiting for our opponent to try to offload everything. Heartless Act. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. We negate that. If they want to use a second Heartless Act on it, I'll let it go. Oh no, they're actually sacrificing to look for gas. Okay, that's interesting. Probably Bone Crusher Giant, sure. Yeah, I think I do have to counter that. Okay, now here's the awkward thing. Our opponent's at just one discard away from getting Croxa back. I will lose Emeria's Call's result, but I think between losing I would rather lose Emeria's Call than lose Elspeth Conquer's Death. Let's do a double. We have an Archon of Sun's Grace in the graveyard and Skyclaves if we need to. Opponent probably just plays the Jangata. We can kind of... Okay, I did not... That one I did not want. So at least we know they... I probably should have just played this anyway. Opponent was... Well, they're actually one discard... They're missing discards. They hit on the Crowan War. That was my greatest fear. Now, there is a bit of... Actually, no. There is a bit of an anti-timing, but... I need to determine what's more important. Because this is just flying. I need to hold back. No, we'll block. There's no way around it. Breaking on lands. Yeah, binapay sa. Ulo ko ascend. So we have a 4-5, but if our opponent has another one of these, we're probably dead anyway. Yeah, we kind of... Another Archon of Sun's Grace. It gives us another creature up top, but... We might end up dying to Croxa triggers at that rate. And though I will be forced to attack, I'm hoping to draw into anything else. Opponents double checking if they have actual Kazul's... Oh, they actually go for the Kazul's Fury on that. So we don't get to gain life. In fact, we're probably dead at this point. Opponent just plays Croxa. No, they go for Ghost Rider first. They want to hit and they don't want to return the angel. That makes sense. We'll probably end up dying to the... Yeah, we got flooded here. That's a good game. So we'll go to the next one, but now we have to make some serious sideboarding decisions. We did last quite a bit of a long time there. So first up, Essence Scatters come in. Glass Casket and Banishing Lights are good. Skyclave Apparition is actually quite good too. So I'm actually gonna go for these. As far as I actually want to have an additional Banishing Light over an additional Glass Casket right now in this case. So Emeria's Call's gonna go. We're gonna keep the Skyclave Clerics. I probably want to cut cards like, say, Behold the Multiverse because they're quite expensive. Actually, the Elspeth Conquers that it does hit the dragon, but that's about it. I might end up just cutting one. No, we cut one negate. I probably want to cut one Bird of Meletis at this point. Do I want... I will cut one Elspeth for one Glass Casket. That's kind of what I'm feeling. Yeah, we need to keep this kind of hand. I'm not so I still want to, because we don't exactly have I didn't add any more like Archons because they're very vulnerable. I would rather just add more Dream Trawlers but the deck already has the full complement. So again, we have a dead Neutralize here, but we do have an Omen. And I can actually just go for the turn 2 Foretell. Opponent Duresses. Okay, we might not be able to do the turn 2 Foretell. Let's see what they take. Actually, kind of awkward because they might take they take Omen, which is correct. So I will Foretell the Doomscar. Yeah, Duress is a good usually the automatic sideboard here. They want to pick off your hand as much as possible. Mar Triton, we get to Glass Casket that. Or I can just wait. Because it's on our opponent to actually put more stuff on the board. But I will go for the greedy cycle the neutralize if our opponent Croxa. Okay, we'll cycle the neutralize. We got ourselves a Dream Trawler, which is what we want. Maybe not this early, but it's still wanted. So I probably do bin the Glass Casket here. Yep, opponent getting full value out of that. I could also just discard the Elspeth. I'd probably discard the Elspeth first. Hit the Skyclave Apparition, so I can do that, but I'm probably just gonna use the Glass Casket instead. We are missing land drops, which is probably the worst thing that can happen to a deck that needs this many lands. I only cut one. I only cut the Emeria. I still have the Skyclave Cleric, so. But even then, the over reliance on. Oh, that's fine. And I don't even have to endanger the Skyclave Apparition quite yet. So, so far it looks like the green is just for Clotis. Oh, they do have a Corvold. This is looking awfully dumb right now. Opponent probably has a village, right? So be it. Yeah, they had the village rights. If our opponent plays Croxa... Oh, they have Clotis again. Okay, we finally hit our land drop. So now there's a stomp target, but I would much rather deal with tree than anything else. Need 2 more lands to get Dream Trawler live. We can kind of buy time with the Shatter the Sky. There's... Okay, drew our 5th land, so... Looking kind of okay. If our opponent plays a bunch of heavy drops, I will just use the Doomscar. Or maybe not. I might be... We'll see what our opponent does. If our opponent just goes for Croxa, I will bin the Shatter the Sky. There, yep, they went for Croxa. We will just use the Doomscar. Which does make this awkward. If I get another land, I want to play it immediately, but... I'm actually gonna just wrath the board away for now. So basically what I want to do is I want to play Dream Trawler with at least 1 card in hand. One shot at hexproof at least. But otherwise we did a very decent job of keeping our opponent's board relatively clear. Immerstorm Predator is actually really bad for us. Oh, they had another Croxa. Okay, that's probably a good game. We're forced to discard the Dream Trawler. Okay, let's see if we can hit... No, we hit Bert. Yeah, I still probably should have been that. But now every time this attacks, we will lose the Dream Trawler. This one's about to go live. Yeah, this one's a lost cause. Opponent managed to just get all their ducks in a row. And hit their Corvold. Sacrifice. Yeah, we can concede at this point. We only have one more Shatter in the Sky. That wasn't gonna do much. We didn't exactly hit any of our card. We only hit one card draw spell very late. Our opponent hit our Omen of the Sea, but that would have dug us a little bit deeper. But even then, the cards we drew subsequently, it's not like we were not happy to see them. They all did quite well. So no dice on that one. Let's see if we can get better luck on the next game. So we're starting to see some. So we're seeing some of the issues here. Basically, that 3 mana is not that for this current meta. There are basically two kinds of matchups. There's the matchup where you have the 3 mana counter spells, but they're way too slow, or it's much later, which means your opponent's playing control, which means they probably have their own suite of counter spells, and you're playing a counter war, which is also not good for you because the deck is not exactly high powered, and we're not exactly running uncounterable threats. Like, we don't have any man lands here. This is actually a good candidate. This is actually a good candidate for like snow-covered lands and Faceless Haven. But there's also the issue about the removal. If you notice, all our removal is white. I've seen some decks that run Archon of Absolution that as a sideboard card. Basically, it's a creature with pro white. Okay, we have double blue here. That's fine. We have 0 action until turn 4. But let's see if the Temple can dig us out of this. And this is a different one. This might be that's probably a Naya deck we're looking at. Elspeth Conquers Death on Naya. This is probably too slow. Let's mill this. Bin in the bottom. Because if our opponent's playing Jaspera Sentinel, they probably do have the. They will probably have cards like let me see. Lovestruck Beast. So we're gonna play the Tranquil Cove. So next turn, Thirst for Meaning. So probably the sideboard we want to have more rat effects. 3 rat effects is okay. We need. Oh, this would have been a good target for. Well, no, that's a Shark Typhoon. That's. I might actually want to go Thirst for Meaning instead, and just bin the Shark Typhoon as a result. So our opponent's going to draw a lot of cards here. We can't do anything about that. Our opponent had the fast start. And we hit Birth to Birth. No. So opponent, enjoy your cards. We really had a... Did not exactly have interaction. Even then, most of our interactions kind of late. As you notice, a lot of decks are just simply a lot faster. This is probably the worst time to be pure control. You want to be like some sort of combo control. There's a Sod coming very late. And let's see, what does our opponent cast? That's 1, that's 2. So a creature can grow up the tree. Let's buy ourselves some time. And the interesting thing is, because it's a 3/4, this actually dodges some remove. It dodges the giant. It dodges the chop down from the giant. Yep, Clarion Spirit. Edgewall Innkeeper. So opponent's gonna grow this into a 4/4. So we're gonna. It would probably slow our opponent down. I don't see our opponent just. Okay, Tangled Hedron. So we're gonna take 4 here. So next turn I could just Tangled Hedron again. Wow, he's going for the big one. We'll let that slide. We'll see if we can hit a Vanishing Light. No, hit Tranquil Cove. I want to hold one of these up, so I'm actually gonna play Birth of Meletis. Play the play the land in question. I'm not gonna swing because our opponent's gonna go sideways. I need to decide between I saw it coming on cycling the Shark Typhoon to give me an extra blocker. Yeah, things are not looking good for us if this is the state we're in. Edgewall Innkeeper. Let's see how our opponent stacks this. Opponent's stacking it on the flyer. Lovestruck Beast. Opponent draws a ton of cards. Maybe you could get our opponent to mill themselves out. Though if we do a mass rat, it only... Edgewall Innkeeper again. Well, he drew almost a full play set, so... Well, when you draw this... When you get a lot of early draws off Toski, so based on this one, I want to have a lot of... I want to add the extra Banishing Lights and the... Yeah, the fact our opponent's just casting a lot of 1-mana spells. Jasper's Sentinel's also quite good here. So we need to make some decisions on how we block. One, we're not blocking Toski. That's unfortunate. Well, we could block Toski with the Pegasus. I'm probably better off just taking the 4 damage. Wow, opponent... Yeah, opponent just got off. I want to see if our opponent gets greedy. Wow, opponent got really greedy here. So, what are the odds that we are able to hit a rat effect? I didn't try countering any... Yeah, I didn't bother countering anything at this point. Wow, he just really going off on everything, I guess. Let's see. Doesn't go too greedy, so we can actually just chump block everything. Let's see if we draw Glass Casket, so that's not gonna help. At least our opponent stops drawing cards, but this is probably... Oh wait, we can actually take one hit. That's a Behold the Multiverse. And so unfortunately, yeah, let's go to the next game. Our opponent went wild. So given the state of this meta, I would approve adding more rat effects here. So let's see. Our opponent's generating a lot of mana early, so we want this suite. We want the Essence Scatters. Negate is still fine, but I think we can save our bigger counter spells for that. We can cut some Birth of Meletis as a result. We'll cut the Beholds. There are some targets for Elspeth. In fact, there's a good number of targets, so we'll cut Emeria. Probably cut the Shark Typhoon for this one. And we'll cut one Neutralize. That seems to be the early plan. Also, we have to note that Toski can't be countered, so... Yeah, not a great time to be a counterspell deck. At least we can, but at least this one, our caskets and Banishing Lights are going to land for the most part. We're still keeping the Skyclave Clerics because if we don't need them for land, we can. It still gives us extra. It gives us extra bodies to gum up the board. Now the deck that seems to be very... Oh, come on. We have to mulligan this. We need reaction, and this doesn't count. Okay, this is much better. We can bin one... We'll bin one Birth. We will keep the planes up top. Okay, opponent's just buying time, so... We will play Birth this time. So without a turn 1 play like Jasper's Sentinel, I'm not too much in a rush. I probably should play the island to threaten, but It's probably not gonna scare anyone. Yeah, let's play the plains. Let's play the glass casket. Let's prevent as many draw engines as possible. If I don't draw another land, because I'm actually tempted to. Ooh, there's a Clotis. Okay, we drew another land though, so I'm actually gonna play the Skyclave Cleric. Buys us even a little more. Buys us a little more time as well. Opponent might actually eat. Okay, no. I was gonna say they might eat their Fabled Passage if they really need the land. Probably that means they have the land in hand. They go for the Showdown. So Showdown into no action is actually good for us. So got Archon. So next turn we will have one land extra for Dream Trawler. So that's the good news. Opponent gunning for the extra land, so that's 5. They'll have 6 mana. Going for the Clarion Spirit. Yeah, probably Clarion Spirit into Showdown. That looks like a good one. And they can grow this into a 3/3 at least. So reload again. Okay, things are more interesting this time. We're still drawing lands. But now we can really buy time off this one. Does our opponent have a Rat's effect? It's possible. That would be annoying, but... So they have 6... Probably 7 mana, so... Yeah, that's correct. I would cast that first. And now our opponent has a... Now our opponent's gonna have a big one that can essentially block Dream Trawler. We will need to hit a Glass Casket. I'm actually... The Glass Casket or Banishing Light is fine. Doom Scar or Shatter is not fine. Bone Crusher Giant, okay. They're spreading the love. But at least it means I only need to take care of 1 token instead of 2. Okay, no, I need to deal with both tokens now. We hit on our Dream Trawler, so what I'm actually gonna do is swing. Because that'll draw us another card. There's our Glass Casket. So opponent will trade 1. Okay, that's fine. We will lose the Dream Trawler because Clotis is most likely gonna eat it. I don't think our opponent has a way. Actually, another thing we could have done is we could have just played the second Dream Trawler out, because but then again the timing is slightly off. Not, oh no, it's bad. So we have a large Clarion. The mana is slowed down. Okay, it kind of slowed down. That's the good news. But now I have to deal with the Felidar Retreat as well. Oh my goodness. Obvious block is obvious. I think I can afford to take. Yeah, we're just breaking. We got our good stuff. We just didn't get the lands to go with it. And our opponent now has the Felidar Retreat to support also. Yeah, we've lost this one before we even began. We're forced to do this one so that I'm not dealing with too much. And no, we're just dealing with an ass. So, no doubt about it, we are in dire straits here. Opponent, yeah, but they hit all the, well, they hit the same amount of mana we did. They hit Toski, so they're gonna go for an Alpha Strike. And there's a Jespera Sentinel. Yeah, they drew 8 extra cards, so they did. We didn't even. We did not even get a single extra card draw spell. We were just, well, one attacking the Dream Trawler, but we were living off the top at that point. And these all have Vigilance, so tap. Okay. Yeah, no point. No point I'm activating that because if we give it Hexproof, it taps it anyway. But our opponent's gonna just, yeah, we're merely delaying the inevitable. But yeah, looks like our opponent got all their ducks in a row. We had some hope, but not quite. Also, why is there no card under this? There's no hope. We just drew lands. Let's attack. See, maybe hit a. Okay, we'll go to block since that's gonna die anyway. There's no way around it. So probably could have done that better. Okay, we did hit a Vanishing Light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's unfortunate, but I have to discard the Elspeth Conquers Death. Clotis is gonna eat it anyway. So yeah, we kind of goofed up there a bit. We could have taken out the bigger one. Oh, I did play a land already, so it didn't really matter. But let's see. 1, 2. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's still a good game. So we got wiped by what's essentially super aggro decks. We're gonna go unranked. We're gonna see if, well, because I'm not gonna spend another 1,000. But we're gonna do at least 2 more matches. We're gonna see if we have any actual future. Ironically, the earlier matchup was probably the better one for us, but this is a horrible time to be going for. But this is really not the best time to go for this kind of control. So we're gonna still go. No, that's historic rank. Sorry, traditional standard rank. But as you can see, it's kind of. It's a case of where you want to try to hit everything, but you don't exactly have the means of doing that. So for one, we're gonna free up our. Okay, we're keeping this one. Obosh Prey Piercer. This could be Teamer. This could be Mono Red. So I'm actually inclined to. Okay, this is Teamer. So I am actually inclined to play the Skyclave Relic. Give us a little extra aggro, because it's more likely we're gonna cast Doomscar at full cost. Then this also becomes an interesting question of what do we aim to neutralize? It really depends on what flavor this deck is. Like, there's a temptation to, let's say, if they go for the Cultivate, I just probably neutralize that. But since these are hard counters, my concern is if they're running Mystical Disc. Okay, this is Teamer Adventures. We'll counter that. I basically want to limit the amount of card draw they actually get, because that's, if you saw the earlier match, that's kind of what Ruin does. The next spell I counter is probably going to be a bigger one though. But if we get our opponent to just take their time, okay, now we need to actually hit something. That said, we do have an Emerius Call on hand, so I'm not too much in a rush for that. It also looks like our opponent might be holding up Mystical Dispute as backup. It does fit our Obosh Mystical Dispute is an odd mana value card. There's a Foretell. So that's a saw it coming. So we're not casting any big stuff anytime soon. So Tranquil Cove. We're gonna slightly scare our opponent a bit with our own Foretell. I might be tempted to actually just cast it, because this can only be Saw It Coming. It could also be Alrund's Epiphany actually. Those are the two spells it probably is. If our opponent might get greedy, just cast the Alrund's Epiphany now. Nope, they did not get greedy, so no dice. Okay, we hit our 7 mana. We're gonna hold it. Because I'm really tempted to cast it now, but I know as soon as I cast it, and even if it doesn't get countered, I've just opened myself up to Genesis Ultimatum. Like, our opponent could actually just cast Alrund's Epiphany now so that he's free to cast Genesis Ultimatum next turn. He's casting Obosh. I guess that's fine too. Let's see if he has the Mystical Dispute. Nothing. This might be Alrund's Epiphany. He's probably not saw it coming. I'm gonna swing first. So we'll see if that's a saw it coming. Now the only nice thing is that because our opponents play Obosh, yeah, that's a saw it coming. So as you can see, there is a problem with basically our our opponent's also having problems. So I guess we can ride this out. Or our opponent is trying to set up the backup. They want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They want to have 10 mana if they're not going to foretell. 9 mana if they want to foretell. That literally cannot be a hand of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want our opponent to try to do something first. I'm so tempted to cast Dream Trawler, but I'm concerned that our opponent might just be... It doesn't make sense for our opponent to have a handful of counters, to be playing a full counter spell deck. No, I actually do want to save up 1 land just in case our opponent has... For the moment we do play Dream Trawler. Really curious why our opponent hasn't played anything. Okay, so I'm gonna actually let that resolve. Edge wall. I think he wants to unload his board. It does allow us to Bone Crusher Giant. Okay, so he's digging for cards. It does give us a free Doomscar shot with some backup. Another bone. Okay, so he reloaded his hand. So I still want to save this one up. Please cast another. Our opponent did get their hand of cards back, but at least we're not gonna die this way. So it's Temple of Enlightenment. Negate is fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. want to see how our opponent's gonna unload this time. Goldspan Dragon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's worth countering. Opponent. We just okay. There's your Genesis ultimatum shot. No, he foretells. So we're gonna play Dream Trawler. Opponent. Oh, lets it go. Okay. That's probably an Alrund's Epiphany if he's gonna let it go. Ketria Triumph. He's cycling hard. This also is very weird. Not gonna lie. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Has 3 mana up to spare, so he could Alrund's Epiphany with a counterspell backup. If he's gonna let this go, I'll take it. Oh, he's going for the Brazen Borrower, so I'm actually gonna discard the land. Basically limit their resources as much as possible. We have one negate and kind of one free roll with the Omen if we need to Edgewall Innkeeper. That one gets through. If he's gonna go for a ground reload, I'm not gonna fight it. Bone Crusher, sure. Okay, we got a race on our hands of some sort. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great Hench. Okay, that's an auto counter. Love Struck Beast. Okay, so he's gonna reload on the ground. So I'm gonna save the Omen because I can use it on my draw. I can use it on combat. Okay, saw it coming's good. Let's dig. Ugh, that's bad. Let's bin those. So I'm gonna again keep these lands now because well, we need to save up for counters, and I definitely am adding more counters at this point. We actually managed to get one game off with this one, so I'm actually pleased with this. No Embercleave here because of Obosh. Let's see, does he go for the Epiphany? He might have a counterspell backup. He might have a Genesis Ultimate. No, he has a second Epiphany. Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We go down to 7. We go down to 3. Opponent probably does not want to swing with everything. He wants to save those, hold those birds back. That's for sure. This is the nice thing about Goldspan Dragons, it's target of spells, so the bad news is if our opponent happens to have the third Alrund's Epiphany. Okay, so down to 5. Does he have the third one? No, it doesn't, so we're gonna activate this. We need to dig for Shark Typhoon's kind of fine. Yeah, going for the big G. We'll let it resolve. Recast it. He can't hard cast that, so he draws an extra card, maybe digging for a counter. So I can play this land to gain an extra life. Let's see if I have a tree. No, it's gonna just chump. It's gonna chump block this anyway, so we'll just block it. That was close, but yeah, we did not have enough to bypass them epiphanies. So yeah, we're gonna let that resolve. We're gonna go to blocks. Oh wait, no, we have to cycle this first. We need the extra blocker. So pass the blocks. So 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're at 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Ooh, this is close. Oh no! What did I, wait, did I wait. Did I miscount something, or did I misblock something, or was there trample somewhere? Anyway, let's bring these in. Okay, glass casket is still good, but might be a bit on the slow side. I don't. Wish there was a way to punish opponent for drawing cards, but that's not in the cards necessarily. So cut the Emeria, cut the. Actually, no, let's not cut the Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I'm still gonna cut the Behold the Multiverses. The Doomscar and Shatter is still okay. I'm tempted to just add another Archon just to give us some extra gas here. All the counters are fine, so I'm probably gonna cut one Birth and cut the Banishing Lights. Banishing Lights have good targets, but so does Elspeth, so it's kind of in the mix of both. Skyclave Apparition also has some good targets as a result. I could just cut one Archon in favor of the Skyclave instead. I'm probably going to cut one Omen for a Glass Casket too. We have enough targets for Glass Caskets actually. The only awkwardness is Brazen Borrower, but we're going to have to live with that one. As you can see, this deck did not age very well. At the time I was doing this, Naya wasn't quite the thing yet, so, or rather it was still getting its traction, but it's now definitely a thing. Oh, and yeah, just having this many basics in a 2-color deck, it's pretty much a kiss of death at this point. So we're gonna keep this. Okay, I'm gonna keep it like this. Not a fan of this situation, but that's sometimes the break, how the break is. Yeah, having this many basic lands, you're literally praying for things to work out. Most of the time it does not. I'm actually gonna just play this now. I could fake out a counter, but let's be honest, we're not really scaring anyone. So let's bin the Skyclave Cleric. It's a big shame too. We actually had the thing going, but the time, and we went through like how many Alrund's Epiphanies? Yeah, the third Epiphany kind of killed us. That was the start of the end. Edgewall Innkeeper. Edgewall Innkeeper. I'm actually going to play this one. Yeah, we're letting our opponent draw cards, but we are setting up the Shatter. Not a fan of letting our opponent draw cards, but I need them to kind of time. I need them to kind of time out a bit here. So we're actually giving them an additional card. Can't be helped. So next turn I can actually go Birth of Meletis, Skyclave Apparition if I have to. Yeah, our opponent has plenty of cards in hand, but we do have the time to deal with this now. It's not as fast as the Naya build. Actually, yeah, we really want to have more wrath effects in the board. So we did draw a land. I'm tempted to just play. This is a feel bad. Yeah, let's just play it. Because we can probably just hard cast a Shark Typhoon if we have to. Now I'm quite okay with taking that one. Opponent might probably has Stomp, but you know what? I'd rather deal with a 3/3 than a 5/5. And yeah, the 0/4 is a good answer to the 3/3. So, oh, opponent trying to see it coming. I'm gonna attack first. Maybe our opponent stomps. We know he has saw it coming. Do I just play the Archon now? Just get it out of the hand. Yeah, let's get it out of their hand. If they have a counter spell, I want to see. I want it out of their hand because I want to set up for these. These are probably more valuable than the Archon right now. I can't just keep waiting. Counter this. Come on. Yeah, I saw it. You know what? I saw it coming too. But our opponent has a proactive deck. They cannot just sit back. The only awkwardness is if our opponent goes for a Goldspan Dragon, they will have the mana to protect it. Yeah. You got it the other way around, dude. There you go. We'll take the 4. Do I go for it? Go for the Elspeth Conquers deck. Because the alternate plan I can do is cycle, but if our opponent has... Yeah, I'm gonna go for it now. Let's see if our opponent has it. It at least minimizes the amount of mana they have. I'm pretty sure they have it. No, they had Mystical Dispute, so it's kind of the same thing. Yeah, generally, the nice Mystical Dispute is good against this deck, but it's also very good against our deck, so that's a problem. And being unable to deal with the dragon is going to be an issue. On the bright side, we can Typhoon into a 5/5 token, although... yeah, I have to gain life a bit. Yeah, this is not going well for us. Opponent has a live dragon. Don't. Bone Crusher Giant to the face. Brazen Borrower on the token. Actually, I'm happy that the opponent did that. They might have another Brazen Borrower though, which is going to be awkward. So yeah, let's just do this now before the token resolves. Here, you got a Glass Cast. One probably has to have something. Even if it's a burn spell, just to take out the shark. Probably gonna do it after the fact. Edgewall Innkeep. Okay, Edgewall Innkeeper into Bone Crusher Giant is fine. Opponent going for the big 5 mana though. So we do have a bit of a race now. Yeah, opponent's gonna go for the race situation, so they're gonna cast a Brazen Borrower. They're definitely digging for something big. Actually, wait. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's still 9 it's still 9 damage. I just realized the Obosh, well, they could still have an extra burn spell, in which case I have the negate for it at least, but because our opponent's gonna go Goldspan Dragon. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9. That's still 9. So we go down to 1. In theory, we have them dead to rights, but let's see if they have the counter. They don't have the counter backup. No, and they didn't have a Brazen Borrower backup too. They were relying on that Epiphany, so we lucked out there. Okay, so we did get 1 win. Now, yeah, now I want to actually see our counter spells. Is that another Skyclave Apparition at this rate? Yeah, if our opponent's big guns are going to be that late, Elspeth is probably a bit too late. That said, I probably should add more Banishing Lights instead of Glass Caskets. At least we have some synergy there. Okay, we're definitely keeping this hand. Tranquil Cove, Birth. It's awfully slow though. And I might be forced to Glass Casket something. Which is actually not too bad. Actually an hour in. Yeah, we definitely have the time. Yeah, don't knock the Tranquil Coves. I think did I gain life from that last one? No, it's most likely from the birds that I gained life. Okay, opponent's taking it slow. I probably just play this to gain the life now. Have a body on the board. Opponent goes. Okay, opponent is taking their time, so we have Mystical Dispute or Omen as an option, so I'm definitely holding. Next turn, opponent passing. Did our opponent drop all... Oh no, did our opponent drop all their cheap stuff? The Glass Casket's not looking so good anymore. Neither is the Plains. Let's bin both. We need to get some better action than this. Not like this. Not like this. I can still keep holding it up, actually. Looks like what our opponent's gonna do is they're gonna just hold up to Kingdom Come. Bone Crusher to the face. Yeah, I'm gonna actually let it go. I'd rather have our opponent spend this because we have the mana to Glass Casket and hold up Mystical Dispute, so... Well, what's a stomp to the face? We'll just take it for now. Opponent goes Obosh. going greedy. We're gonna keep... Okay, we're definitely keeping the second Elspeth now. Because what we do is Elspeth 1. Take note, these are our only Elspeths. I took out the third one, so... If our opponent goes for a Goldspan Dragon, we have another Elspeth for that. Though... Maybe... Yep. Figured they had it. So we definitely... And the Love Struck Beast, so why not? Now, they might still have a counter spell like Mystical Decree, so we're going to... Oh no, not anymore. So we're gonna Elspeth the other one. Opponent can just let both of these go. I would not be surprised if they just drop both. I'm actually hoping that they go for something big like Epiphany. Nope, they're gonna go for that first. That makes sense. Take the hit. Nothing to return. But we can kind of set it up. So, Glass Casket. Wait, no. I played the land already. That's going to be a mistake. Essentially trying to dissuade our opponent from it. Well, let's be honest. Our opponent's going to attack anyway. So we get a nice thank you freebie for that one. Opponent might have Clotis. Usually that's one of the best side. No, did not have the Clotis. So I'm probably going to just take one more hit off this one before I run the Shatter the Sky. We'll probably run the Birth of Meletis now. Slight anti-timing with the land. Slight anti-timing with the wall. But then again, what we can do is we can just buy 2 turns with this one before we fire the Shatter. Great Henge. Opponent has the mana to counter it. I'm gonna let it go. Because I actually want our opponent to get greedy on this one. Yeah, let's just block it. Opponent's definitely gonna dumpster a creature on us right now. Or not, but we're still drawing land, so that's a problem. I'm actually gonna keep one up. Opponent did not, well, they're not exactly in the losing position. They could have just activated it anyway, but... Oma, Cosmos Serpent. Ay. Can't be countered. Now we need to hit Banishing Light. Oh wait, we don't have Banishing Light. Yikes. So we made the bad side. Well, we're drawing lands anyway, so... Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's just... Let's make our opponent sack a Serpent, but yeah, we goofed up on the sideboarding. I keep forgetting this exists. It's a very good foil. It also does tell us that we need to have non-destructive options. Well, I did have non-destructive options. I just used them all up. Smart, yeah? So, since I used up the Shatter already at this point, so... Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna just concede here. Yep, we goofed up on the Coma, we goofed up on the sideboarding, but but that's the thing. We do this so that we learn. So we have about... We're gonna do one more... we're gonna do one more round. Yeah, the round. I did say we want to do at least 4 matches. This is our third one. Let's do one more match. As you can see, the face of control is very different. The days of sitting behind counter spells, it still hits, it still works, but not always. And it doesn't work when we are kind of all over the place like this. We kind of need to dedicate one to one form or another form. We can't just spread all out. If you remember, I actually noticed that one of the most watched videos I have is the updating the white-blue precon. In fact, I probably should take a look at that one. I should still have the deck list up. The thing about that is... Okay, updating... Okay, I have to actually go on YouTube to look at that. Unbelievable. I'm going to my own channel just so I can... Go on my... That's a private... Yeah, that's better be a private playlist. So... Pause here. Let's... Yeah, we'll keep this one. Wow, I started this since Throne of Eldraine. So let's look for that one. It should be episode number... Oh, it's a bit of a dig. Okay, so we got pure aggro here. We do have our Shatter the Sky. That's the good news. We do need another white source, so we're gonna be digging here. This might be mono white, so we're gonna see if we can actually. So if we can't even survive this one, we're in real trouble. Okay, we're starting to be in trouble, I guess. Yes, let's play the Omen now. Let's. Okay, we got our planes. We got a Shark Typhoon on the back end too. Yeah, we'll keep the Shark Typhoon on the back end. Because we draw that next turn, we can actually use it to chump one of the ones if we have to. Opponent's most likely gonna just try usher all the way, unless they drop a 3-drop here. Let's see. Nope, they're just ushering all the way. It's all tokens all the time. Please drop a 1-drop. Selfless Savior. So I'm actually going to force our opponent to sack the Selfless Savior, because I'm gonna force him to have more Selfless Saviors. It can't be Hopeful Eidolon. Yes. I think I did that after the Jumpstart event. Yeah, there you go. Updating precons. Whoa, episode 120. That's been a while. Opponent goes Sword of the Realms. They'll equip it on Usher, so they actually will get it back. So that gives me an interesting situation here. So they get it back, they equip, but I can kind of buy time with it. Yeah, let's force it now. They will get it back, and they will get a card off it as well. And I also have to deal with this Faceless Haven at the same time. At least by doing this, our opponent can't do both. So the setup essentially is next turn Temple, Archon, buy some time. I don't think our opponent is playing anything relatively big. So we're gonna take 4. That's actually fine. I'd rather deal with this than... Well, they can still cast this, actually. Yeah, there you go. So we did hit our 6th mana, so... I'm actually incentivized to keep Archon alive. Probably not going to happen since we're at 6 life already. In fact, all of this might be a bit too late. So Elspeth Conqueror's Death is gonna get sideboarded out for sure. So we are going to board in Banishing Lights because we need to be able to answer Halfar and company. I'm actually gonna just block the land. So back up to 5. Wow, we're just drawing lands. Hold on. If I thirst for meaning, it has to be a glass casket, but let's see, our opponent can activate the Faceless Haven. They will need to have one more land to equip with sword also. I can Shark Typhoon to buy some time. And there's a chance I die to the token. Let's go for it. We'll go for the token play. Our opponent might have chopped down though, but at least by making our opponent activate the Faceless Haven, it could buy us the time. Heliod's Sun Crown. Okay, that's a good Elspeth Conquers Death target. We can even use it by Archon if we survive long enough. Opponent gives it lifelink. Okay, sure. One, two, three, 4. The value, in fact, I might actually just do 1. This allows me to cast the Thirst for Meaning as well. So I'm actually glad our opponent got greedy with that one and didn't go for the boast. So, okay, that's good. We got 2 cards to discard. Decline. I kind of want to gain the extra life, but let's see. 5, 6, 7. Nope. So I have to do this first so that I have a chance to come back. Yeah, the sword is going to be a problem. I actually have to bring in all... I'm going to bring in all my Banishing Lights, but not necessarily my... I might just cut all my counters for the most... Counter spells for the most part. Does he have an effect that pumps this? No, we actually just go down to 1. Probably cast the Usher this time. Okay. Did not want to hit draw planes. Yeah, the draws are killing us. So I might actually just do the Thirst for Meaning, see if we can hit some... Yeah, it digs us 3 cards deep. Discard an enchantment. Yikes, none of this one doesn't matter. These don't matter either, so just discard the lands. Did I play a land? I played the land already, did I? Yeah, I'm just gonna cast, see if I have anything. Yeah, the glass casket's down there. So we're going to concede at this point. Yeah, we had to dig quite deep, so we need to have a lot of removal. So this package comes in. This package kind of comes in. We aren't exactly countering non-creatures quite yet, so the Saw coming in the neutralizes, and the negate can kind of go. Emeria's Call's too expensive. We're gonna cut 1 birth. We probably just cut both Behold the Multiverse. Considering we're gonna be reacting a lot, it's not gonna do fine. We still have problems against the shark, against the Faceless Haven. That's actually the #1 big issue we have to resolve. I probably could have put 1 more Archon just to give us some gas. At least we could trade it 1 for 1, and we're still keeping the Elspeth Conquers Death. I haven't cut those out because our opponent is running Heliod and Halvar. So we're going to go for the turn 2. Well, most likely the turn 2 Doomscar. Foretold. Depends if our opponent plays Usher. No, I'll say the Life's Bounty, so... yeah, let's save it anyway. Hold on. Yeah, foretell. See what our opponent does with their turn 2 play. Luminarch Aspirant, so this one's gonna grow out of hand. And I don't want to 1-for-1 with the Banishing Light, so we're gonna Doomscar now. Two for 1. It is what it is. If we have to see. Oh, opponent is slowing down. So I'm actually gonna play Birth of Meletis so we can have a 1, so we can make our land drop. We will be able to hit Omen at least. We've got the triple Banishing Light at this point. Opponent probably has a way to deal with. You're also missing the Faceless Haven, which is good news for us. Skyclave Apparition takes out the Birth of Meletis. So pass. Let's make sure. Okay, yeah, there's a little bit of lag here. I have to be careful. Draw the card. I actually don't want to Glass Casket that. Well, I don't want to Banishing Light it either. I actually want to Skyclave Apparition it, but so I'm actually gonna just Glass Casket it. Worst. So we have, so you can at least hold up Thirst for Meaning. That's pretty much the only meaning behind this. Really want to hit either our Dream Trawler or Halvar, God of Battle. Okay, opponent going for that, so we're gonna go Thirst for Meaning. I'm gonna discard that because I'm definitely not discarding. I'm definitely not discarding 2 cards. I'm actually at the point where I probably want to discard the Shatter, so we'll see what we draw off the second Thirst for Meaning. I also have the option of just sacking the Omen, but let's go for the draw. Let's see what our opponent does with this. Luminarch Aspirant. Okay, Thirst for Meaning. I'm probably not going to discard I'm probably gonna discard Shatter. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we're gonna discard these 2. Because if ever I want lands, I actually want an untapped land this time. So this is where, well, Shark Typhoon is not bad either. So I'm actually going to just play the Shark Typhoon now. So my concern is our opponent lands equipment, but we do have the Banishing Lights for that. So we're going to hold this back. Shatter is also an option, but no, not really. Not while our opponent has a handful of cards. Maul the Skyclave, so we definitely have our banishing target. Especially if our opponent dumps another counter onto this. Sentinels. Oh, they're going all in on this. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we take 8. Please give it an untapped land. I want this combo off with Archon. Otherwise, I just Banishing Light. Well, we get Shark tokens anyway, so it's not too bad. We got a Dream Trawler, but that's gonna have to wait. Get ourselves a Shark. Nuke the Seasoned Hollow Blade. force our opponent to dump the mall onto something else. We can technically chump block with the shark for now. And we're definitely sacking the omen next turn. So opponent just pays 4 to equip this. We will chump. Actually, let's sack this first. We hit the plains and an essence scatter. Let's not chump quite yet. Because I got a longer sequence on this. It's only 4 damage, so I'm still kind of fine, relatively. So next turn I will play Dream Trawler just to have something to punch through. Opponents playing Luminarch. No. So I actually want to hold these tokens back. Okay. So we got 1 win off that one. Now let's see if we can continue with this one. Definitely keeping this sweet here. Probably want to. The bird is still fine because it buys us time to hit this. I can see the argument for 1 more Archon, 1 less. Actually I'm gonna cut 1 plains. That puts us down to 25 lands instead of 26 because we cut the Emeria also, so we're taking a bit of a risk here, but I personally run 24. Okay, now we're getting punished for that, but I personally run 24 lands. Oh, come on. I cut 1 land. This is how you treat me? Seriously. Okay, now we get to keep this. We have to bin Dream Trawler because that takes too long. I have to keep both of this, so we sadly have to bin that. I might have to play Skyclave Cleric as a land. Yeah, we're playing Skyclave Cleric as a land. Yeah, you cut 1 land and the game decides to throw a hissy fit. Who would have thought? We did get a Glass Casket, so we're going to Glass Casket the Aspirant. I would love to do it on the Selfless Savior, but the Aspirant is just going to grow out of hand after. If this doesn't go out of hand, the next thing will go out of hand. So I would rather just deal with the doggy the old-fashioned way. Then watch our opponent hit Skyclave Apparition. Called it. That's it. Our opponent's at least willing to go wide on this one. Okay, we are hitting. We did hit our 3rd and our 4th land here, so I will Omen now because I don't really have anything else. We need to figure out what our next plan is. We're about to take a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure our opponent has equipment in store next turn. We have our own Skyclave Apparition. We have our own Temple of Enlightenment. I'm just suspicious that our opponent probably has equipment by now, so I'm going to That's actually fine. We're not damaged. Well, that's actually fine. We're not damage based. I can in fact nuke this also if I want to, but we need to buy ourselves a lot of time, so we're gonna nuke their Skyclave apparition instead. So let's see if we can hit. Let's see if we can hit some. Now this time I still want to take this out. It gives me, but I can't. But I'm effectively chump blocking. Well, I still want to take this out actually. Bert is actually fine. Until I realize that my mana's not set. Gosh, we're still gonna lose. Okay, this one's my fault. Let's see if we're not dead yet. Yeah, I should have paid attention to my mana. I forgot Yep. That one's my fault. Yeah, good game. I goofed up. So, not doing so well, but a lot of these are my own play mistakes, so the deck is not as bad as it looks. Okay, it's still bad at this point. So we're gonna go through the different adjustments right about now. We're going to make a lot of cuts actually. Ay 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 ay. And to think this was the one I had the most hope for, it's like I was gonna yell out, "You're the chosen," when not quite. So let's go over the deck. We're gonna take a look at So let's take a look at. Let's first free up some slots because we don't want to. Basically, having to mulligan because of your mana base is really horrible. So first, we're gonna make some cuts here. Confounding Conundrum goes because this did not age well. So remember, we're only adding more mythics and 2 more rares, but I feel like this could use a little bit more help here. So first off, the land base. I'm choosing Fabled Passage because since we're relying on so much card draw, we cannot afford to just be drawing into lands. We need to actually cut stuff. It hurts us a bit in the early game, but yeah, if you don't keep making mistakes like I did, it should turn out right. Shark Typhoon is really great here. Now take note. I need to cut one more. No, let's just say that's our rare allotment. Then we're going to add one more rare, which is another Doomscar. Yeah, the Archon of Absolution really wrecks the, what do you call this, the mirror matchup. Anyway, so we're gonna add another Doomscar here. So that's our two rare allotment. We have 2 mythics on allotment. Like, one thing I can actually do is add an addition. As far as mythics go, the other mythic I can add is, well, actually I have an idea. So first let's add that island back. So we need to have quite a bit of bounce. Hold on a second. Mm-hmm. Oh. No, Japsa ba Japsi? Dad, hige sa atin sige ingmay ba? So definitely, yeah, I want to negate, but it's really more of a sideboard card at this point. So yeah, actually what I want to do is first we're gonna cut the neutralizes and just replace it with all Saw It Coming. Even then, I probably don't want this many Saw It Coming. I want to actually balance it out with other counter spells. So let's get that out of the way. if you can afford to have more Doom Scars instead of Shatter the Sky, go for it. Like, I would really go 3-1 in this case. Archon of Sun's Grace, not exactly aging well here. It was much better in the precon deck because you have access to, because I was really all in on that setup. It doesn't quite work on this one, so let's pause. Yeah, actually not bad. 334 views could use some help here. So yeah, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and kind of help a brother out. But yeah, you want to have more enchantment synergies than this. Like, what was I running? For Omen the Sea, I was running for Omen the Sun, I was running for Banishing Light, I was running Elspeth Conquers Dead, I was running Kiora Best the Sea God. I was actually even more generous in adding rares and mythics to this one. So take note that this one is working on a harder constraint. It's assuming that you got a lot of value in it, though. Did it feel like we got a lot of value out of this? Not really. I'm keeping the Skyclave Clerics here because it does kind of help a bit, though. Yeah, the Behold the Multiverse did not help us. I'm gonna cut those. We want to have. If we want to, we have to decide if we want to support the Archon of Sun's Grace plan or the Dream Trawler plan. That's pretty much the main issue here. In fact, first let's add our other mythic. I'm going to add I'm going to add the. I could always add this one, but I'm probably gonna add the Seagate Restoration here. That's. In fact, we also need to decide if we want to be heavier blue or Alrund's Epiphany is actually a pretty good add here too, because sometimes you just need to have extra time. Okay, let's cut that plan. So take note, if we're going to go Alrund's Epiphany, it's a lot of double blue. We need to be careful with our mana because we're all over the place. Lots of double whites, lots of double blues. If you can afford to cut 4 more of these to add the pathways, do so. You can't be playing around with your mana base. Let's go for it actually. Since this is a flavor of the month, let's do this now. In that way, I'm gonna end up cutting the Emerius Call for a Seagate Restoration. So we're gonna cut one island, add 1 more plains because we're getting plains off Birth of Meletis. We want to support that as much as possible. So given that, I like Skyclave Apparition, but so we're gonna cut the extra Archon of Sun's Grace. That gives us our extra rare. We probably can. That should give us our extra allotment. In fact, I guess we can spend that allotment on. Yeah, just give ourselves enough rat effects. This is a feel bad, but we do have Thirst for Meaning, so we can always chuck it if we have to. So 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm gonna keep this at 27. So given that, I'm actually gonna move all the glass caskets to the sideboard. Move 1 more Banishing Light into here. I want to cut the negate. Actually, add another I want to add another Mystical Dispute, but I want to add it to the main deck. So at least we know all our counters are in the 3 mark, so we have to be careful that way. We're gonna keep the Essence Scatters because that's our weaker matchup. Actually, that's not true. Our weaker matchup is when we can't counter something really big. So Disdainful Stroke came back, so let's add those to the sideboard. So this would be my sideboard of choice. You notice I just slam all the Glass Caskets and Banishing Lights in whenever possible. So we're pretty much adding Alrund's Epiphany as a way to buy some time, basically emergency get out of jail free card. Our card draw is less between Omen and Thirst for Meaning. if we're going for this one, the apparition probably doesn't feel great. I actually want to cut the apparitions here. Let's add some more card draw in a sense. I've always wanted to add Maze Mind Tome, so I'm gonna add 2 of those. I kind of want to put the Shark Typhoon in the side. No, the Shark Typhoon is technically a card draw spell. What I can do is I can just put the Shatter Disguise in the sideboard because this is the less efficient one. And there we go. This looks like... this would be how I would rebuild the Challenger deck. Let's check our mana. 1917. Not... and take note, I might have made the mana a little bit worse. Well, for one hand, we're not relying too much on double blue until the late game. The triple blue might be an issue with Sea Gates, so let's just make this Emeria's Call again. No harm with doing that. Actually, Solemn Simulacrum's a good add-on, but that's usually something you add on the Dimir deck. Another actual control option you can use. Giant Killer. Although I will note that all our removal so far has been in white, so we probably should alleviate that one a bit. So I'm gonna cut 1 Glass Casket. I'm going to probably cut the 1 Mystical Dispute. We can choose between Bind the Monster, although it hurts us quite a bit. Bubble Snare is also plausible. We can just take our time to kick it if we have to. Into the Royal, this helps us in card draw, so I actually do think this is a good option. So I'm actually going to add two of that. I'm also going to cut 1 more island, add the Jawari Disruption. I don't want to cut all the way down to 3. No, let's cut 1 plains, add the Jawari Disruption that way. So in fact, you might prefer it over the Skyclave Cleric. In fact, I guess we can do that. We can just cut the Skyclave Clerics, though the extra body is nice. Being able to have extra... it becomes a question of choice which you want. I'm going to leave both here, but you might want to opt for one or the other. Anyway, so this is how I would redo the deck now. I guess an argument can be not too many Elspeth Conquerors that's actually add the Archon of Sun's Grace. I'm working with a stricter limit compared to last time. I didn't just get to dump as many rares and mythics as I wanted to. And so this deck is not quite streamlined, but yeah, if you want to go for streamlined, I would just cut the Dream Trawlers, cut the Dream Trawlers, cut the Emeria, maybe cut some of the cards like Maze Mind Tome, just add full Omens, add full Archons. That's one way to do it. But there we go. That's pretty much this deck. So that's it for this episode of the... yeah, we're going to save and exit that one. So that's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, turn on notifications and whatnot. That's it for the Challenger deck. So the next time I probably do a deck series like this, maybe closer to Strixhaven or even Forgotten Realms. This is also an alternate option too. You can go for the Foretell into Angels, but we're not exactly that heavy in the mana. Then again, we're not exactly heavy enough to go for Alrund's Epiphany, but I'd rather have that choice than none. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone. Oh, if you're not too convinced, just go Brazen Borrower instead. That it gives you aggro and bounce at the same time.